Ah, get you. ¿Dónde? Alcalde, yo no voy a
Okay.
I know they're going to get angry because we didn't go.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newark Municipal Council's public meeting. Please rise for the singing of the national anthem and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam President, in accordance with the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice has been provided to the Star-Ledger, the Jersey Journal, and to the public at large establishing the date, time, and location of this meeting. May I have a roll call of those present, please?
Amador, absent. Gonzalez, absent.
Present.
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 Here.
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 Madam President, on the agenda page 2, Council of the Whole to accept the reports and recommendations of the boards and commissions.
Council as a whole, roll call, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Present.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Ordinance on first reading. 6FA is an ordinance to amend the general ordinance of the City of Newark, amusements and amusement business, Chapter 10, special permits by making certain amendments to improve the special events permit process. Council of the Whole to adopt on first reading.
Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Wait a minute, Councilman, we need to defer
Yes,
this
we can move it.
changes. You want to
Yes, we can move it from first reading, and the changes will be going to the law department, the amendments,
Right.
and then we'll have separate piece sometime in the future.
You should have it on for the agenda on the 23rd.
Okay.
Council of the Whole to defer action at this time.
Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Yes.
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 6FB is an ordinance which would add additional membership to the Commission on the Status of Women and add provisions for the appointment of 4 advisors. Council President Crump wishes to move, second by Councilwoman MacGyver, to adopt on first reading.
Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Yes.
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 6FC is an ordinance adding a new chapter 36 entitled Use of Plastic Bags Prohibited. Council of the Whole to adopt on first.
Roll call, please.
No.
Yes.
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 Abstain.
Yes.
Six FB adds a new subsection 18:5-1.1C for owners, developers, or public and private housing complexes consisting of more than one building, each with a separate entrance, and having over 100 housing units in each building to have an armed security guard in each building. Councilwoman MacGyver wishes to move, second by Councilman Ramos.
Yeah, Madam President.
Yes, Councilman.
Yeah, I just want to, again, make sure that we do get the information that I requested at yesterday's meeting prior to this coming back on the agenda at what I assume to be a meeting in August, okay? So I had requested some kind of correspondence from the Director of the Housing Authority concerning the impact on affordability, and then also just some clarity from the Law Department or from Elmer and Ron as to what constitutes a scattered site. So I have no problem moving this forward.
Nope.
Just make sure that we get the information prior to adoption, okay?
It's the will of the body to move it to first. Is that correct?
Before we adopt it, we need to amend it to change the title. We need to remove the word armed security guard for each building so that it would read to have security guards for each building.
That's fine for me. Well, the way the title is doesn't support the actual ordinance because it's either or it's both basically. So it should just be security. That's fine.
So same movers and second to amend?
Roll call.
Yes.
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 Madam President?
Yes, Councilman.
Going back to 8FC or 6FC, I'm sorry, on the plastic bags issue, I'm not against the concept, far from it. I will do anything, and I will support anything that supports the eliminating the climate change issues that we have today. My reason for voting no on this issue has to do with the fact that I think it's going to be very difficult to implement this ordinance. For one second, I think we have a lot of work to do in eliminating, for example, the plastic bags that are being used right now by the residents to put the garbage on, and we haven't been able to do so even though we have an ordinance that indicates that all garbage should be placed in containers for pickup. So those are my reservations and my reasons why I voted no.
Madam President.
Thank you. Councilman Ramos.
I just want to also state that, I did support this moving from communications to first. I think the Corp Council yesterday at the meeting outlined a number of things that would be considered as possible amendments to the ordinance prior to adoption, and I'm hopeful that those items do appear before next month's meeting. I do have some of the same concerns that Councilman Amador raised as far as the implementation. I think there was some lack of clarity regarding as to whether or not this was actually a full ban on plastic bags or a partial ban. So hopefully we'll be in a position where those items will be cleared up prior to this moving on to the next step. So just gonna put that on the record.
Council, do you have any information to share with us from the meeting that was held yesterday?
Good morning, Kenyatta Stewart, City of Newark Corporation Council. So I did have an opportunity to meet with the folks from ShopRite yesterday. They indicated that they did have some concerns. They are going to be sending us over some documentations. I do plan to do a follow-up meeting. I did mention that Councilwoman MacGyver indicated that she wanted to meet with a number of, folks throughout the different communities in reference to this. They were willing to, accept the fact that we're going to continue to work on this and, do what we have to do to push it forward, but keep in mind that it is going to be somewhat of a burden to them as well.
Madam President, just real quick, I yesterday had suggested to the Corp Council, too, the possibility of looking at the idea of including the tax as an option as well. So that's something, again, I want to see if through the clerk's office and the law department, they would consider as a possible amendment to the ordinance.
Certainly.
Next item, Mr. Clerk.
I'm sorry, before we move forward past the item that we were on for 6FD, for the security in the building, I did have a chance to speak to the director of the Housing Authority yesterday in length regarding some of the concerns people had regarding this new ordinance or this amendment, not new ordinance, let me be clear about that, how it was going to impact their affordability. And after speaking and gaining the information from the Housing Authority, it is my opinion that it will not affect their affordability. In Newark Housing Authority right now, all of the high-rise locations already have a security guard. They're all stationed there. They're even in my area where Baxter Elderly, which has 2 buildings right next door to each other, each building has a security guard. So they're meeting the requirements of the current ordinance. In speaking to the Housing Authority, the director mentioned about the possibility of this affecting the family homes, which clearly the ordinance we have now speaks to the family sites that have over 100 units. The family sites are not required to have a guard in each townhouse or town building in a family site. They are only required to have security the same amount that we call for in the current ordinance right now. So that means that they're supposed to have the same requirements as a building on a family site, which currently, to be quite frankly honest, isn't happening. So that's number one. So adding this ordinance where we have to require an additional security guard for a building over 100 that's within a certain radius of each other does not impact any affordability for Newark Housing Authority, which was mentioned yesterday. So I really do look forward to the August 7th meeting that we pass this and we move forward, because all of the things that keep getting brought up regarding this ordinance, it is, after doing research and trying to, appeal to my colleagues here, it is not an impact.
Yeah, Madam President.
Thank you. Councilman Ramos.
I just want to state that, this piece of legislation has moved along, I think, quite nicely. We do have a right to bring up observations, questions as part of the legislative process. And Director Cirillo himself, a few years back, when I had proposed an amendment, had objected to the same clause which is included in this ordinance, which is why I had asked through the clerk and the president of the board to get some kind of correspondence from him attesting to the fact that this doesn't impact the affordability. They do have 24-hour security. They have 24-hour security at 801 North 6th Street and 900 Franklin. What he objected to a few years ago was the idea of them now being required to have an 8-hour armed guard. That's what he said could impact the affordability of those units. So that's why I wanted to get some clarity through the president of the Housing Authority Board and Director Cirillo
So,
to my final vote on this.
To piggyback off what Councilman Ramos said, that may be true in terms of what the problem was, but this ordinance that we're putting forward, the amendment is not in question. I think the current ordinance, if you need to put something in differently to address the 8-hour armed guard that's already in the ordinance, that's another matter. But in terms of what we're trying to present to address some of the issues that we have citywide in terms of, people who are sharing one guard per 500 residents, that is the issue that we're trying to address. And so my comments state the same in terms of me speaking to the director. We have done lots of research on this. We have spoken to many people. And at the end of the day, we have to advocate for safety and security of our residents here in the city. Despite what people say in terms of what it's going to cost them and so forth, it is our responsibility, my responsibility for my Central Ward residents anyway, to support them having safety and security. So, we get plenty of complaints regarding who can't afford what we can do, what it's going to do. I mean, just a couple of months ago, we put out an ordinance to try to get security for 100 units and less, and literally we got false mailed to all of the residents regarding rent increases that scared the death out of them, which was false lies. And so we cannot allow people to do that to residents here in the city because we want them to be safe and sound in a place where they pay rent. We're not asking for anything unjust. This request, this amendment is just to the people of the city.
Thank you.
Let's go back to 6FB, same mover and second, council to adopt on first reading as amended.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Ordinance on second reading, public hearing, second reading and final passage, 6 PSNFA is an ordinance which establishes a requirement for inspection of a rental unit utilizing any form of rental assistance or rental subsidy by the sponsoring agency before a certification of code compliance is issued. Council of the whole to defer action at this time. The public hearing will remain open.
Roll call, please.
Oh, I thought we were moving this.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
B is an ordinance which would amend the city zoning ordinance titled 61, chapters 2 and 4 of the Municipal Code to permit short-term rental use in all legal dwellings and establish minimum standards for short-term rental use.
Council as a whole.
Aren't these being deferred?
I'm sorry.
Defer them?
Yeah, they're deferring.
Yeah, we're deferring.
All four? All of the Airbnb?
Mr.
that's
Clerk,
what
I
the
spoke to you about this.
Yeah, Council President had asked me
Yes.
earlier if she wanted to defer these.
This is for the 10th time.
Yes, I did.
Defer? Council heard to
Yes,
defer?
please.
Council heard to defer. The public hearing will remain open.
Who's on first?
Yes, defer. Just to make sure.
Yes to defer.
Yes.
Yes to defer. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. C is a ordinance which would add a new chapter entitled Short-Term Rentals to the Title 18 entitled Housing Code. Council to hold to defer action at this time. The public hearing will remain open.
Roll call, please.
C.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. C.
Yes.
Yes. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Very prolific council.
D is
We got it.
would add transient accommodations to the list of properties subject to the license fee assessment and amends Section A to authorize the inclusion of all transient accommodations as they become identified. Council of the whole to defer action at this time. Public hearing will remain open.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
is an ordinance would add a new chapter entitled Hotel Occupancy Tax to Title 10 entitled Finance and Taxation. Council of the Whole to defer action at this time. The public hearing will remain open.
One more time, yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Clerk, I requested that I be excused. I have an emergency. Council President will, Vice President will assume the chair. Thank you very much.
Chair, Mr. Clerk.
6 PSNFF is an ordinance to entitle Assistance for the Successful Reintegration of Formerly Incarcerated People into the Community by clarifying provisions for the use of criminal convictions during the business licensing process. Is there anyone present that wishes to be heard on this ordinance?
Someone appearing.
Good afternoon. Deborah
Afternoon.
Salters, City of Newark. Can we get some clarification on exactly what this is? Because the wording is not clear about what it is exactly that we're passing. That's what I need from that.
If I may, Mr. President.
Mr. Clerk.
Ms. Salters, a few years ago, the council attempted to pass an ordinance called Ban the Box. This would require that anyone hiring individuals would not ask for criminal convictions until after the interview process has been completed. This ordinance now gives that same privilege to individuals trying to get licenses to open a business in the city of Newark.
Okay.
Corporation Counsel?
I'm not sure, I wasn't 100% sure if we were good on the clarity. Good?
Is it good? Yes. Okay.
Perfect.
Roll call.
Council of the Whole to close the public hearing and adopt.
Yes.
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 G is an ordinance providing for the city's South Street and Adams Street Drainage Improvements Project and related expenses, and for the city of Newark, and appropriating $6 million thereof, and providing for the issuance of $6 million in bonds or notes. Is there anyone present that wishes to be heard on this ordinance?
No one appearing.
No one appearing. Motion to close the public hearing and adopt. Council of the Whole.
Roll call.
I would like to sponsor this.
Okay.
Second.
Do I have a second?
Councilman Ramos, second. Roll call.
Absolutely, yes.
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 H is an ordinance adopting the First Amendment to the Westward Model Neighborhood Initiative Redevelopment Plan, which makes various amendments to the original plan as detailed in Exhibit A. Is there anyone present that wishes to be heard on this ordinance?
No one appearing.
No one appearing. Councilman McCallum, you sponsor?
Sponsor.
Second.
Second, Councilman Osborne.
Osborne, roll call. To close the public hearing and adopt.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Continue.
I is an ordinance granting a 15-year tax abatement to the Cesnar Group Urban Renewal LLC for a project to construct a 5-story building with 16 market-rate residential rental units and associated parking located at 852-854 Raymond Boulevard. Is there anyone present that wishes to be heard on this ordinance?
No one appearing.
No one appearing.
Oh,
Motion.
someone appearing. Sorry. She's appearing.
Okay. Deborah Salters, City of Newark. I know we talked about before the number of years of tax abatements, and here it's saying market rate. Like as of right now, we have a bunch of these buildings, a lot of these lofts that are out here that are not even at 50% capacity because Newarkers simply can't afford it. So this one that's being built now with the 15-year tax abatement, when it says market rate, how much are we talking for these rental properties? Because again, we have several of them in the city, if you do the tour, that are not at 50% capacity, again, because Newarkers cannot afford to live there. So when we're talking market rate, at a 15-year tax abatement, what are we talking about for the people of the city when we have about 19,000 people on a list for affordable housing?
No other speakers?
Somebody from economic development can
Can someone from economic development speak to
speak
that?
to the tax abate.
No? Okay.
Nobody here.
Yes. No, you can't speak. No.
Council as a whole, motion to close the public hearing and adopt?
Yes. And get it in writing.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
J is an ordinance granting a 30-year tax abatement to Pilgrim Baptist Village Preservation Urban Renewal LLC for a project to acquire and rehabilitate 2 affordable housing projects containing 305 residential units consisting of 2 superintendent units and 303 affordable housing units. This is located at 291-319 18th Avenue and 143-171 Avon Avenue. Is there anyone present that wishes to be heard on this ordinance?
No one appearing.
No one appearing. Councilwoman McGuire, second by Councilman Quintana, wish to close the public hearing and adopt.
Okay.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
K is an ordinance amending ordinance 6 PSNFB of October 18, 2017, granting amendment number 1 to the financial agreement of a tax abatement granted to Somerset Brownstones Urban Renewal Associates. This is a long-term tax abatement to correct a typographical error in said ordinance and in amendment number 1 to the financial agreement for an affordable housing project located at 25-49 Somerset Street. Is there anyone present that wishes to be heard on this ordinance?
No one appearing.
No one appearing. Motion to close the public hearing and adopt. Council of the whole?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes. Continue, Mr. Clerk.
L is an ordinance amending Title 61 Zoning and Land Use Regulations by increasing the zoning and land use application fees. Is there anyone present that wishes to be heard on this ordinance?
No one appearing.
No one appearing. Motion to close the public hearing and adopt. Council of the whole.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Resolutions. Resolution 7R1A is a temporary emergency appropriation for the 2019 HIV/AIDS Emergency Relief Project Grant. 1B is a ratifying authorizing resolution for a temporary emergency appropriation for the Summer Youth Employment Pilot Program. 1C is a ratifying authorizing resolution for Department of Administration for a temporary emergency appropriation to provide funds for the operating expenses until the adoption of the 2019 operating budget for the City of Newark and the Department of Water Sewer Utilities. D is a ratifying authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration for a temporary emergency appropriation for cash match for the 2017 Staffing for Adequate Fire and Emergency Response Grant. E is a
Continue. Go ahead.
ratifying authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration for a temporary emergency appropriation to increase immunization levels. F is a ratifying authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration for a temporary emergency appropriation for the Breast Pump Purchase Food Initiative Program. G is a ratifying authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration for a temporary emergency appropriation for the 2018 Port Security Grant. H is a ratifying authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration for a temporary emergency appropriation for the cash match for the 2018 Port Security Grant
Okay.
through 7R1H. Council of the Whole to adopt.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 701I is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration for a bid contract to provide photographic supplies and basic still cameras equipment. J is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration for a bid contract to provide outdoor power generators. K is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration for a bid contract to provide maintenance and repair, truck lubrication, grease, and oil change services for heavy-duty trucks for the Department of Water Sewer Utilities.
Okay.
L is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration for a bid contract to provide automotive washing and specialized cleaning services. M is an authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration for a bid contract to purchase hypochlorite liquid sodium disinfectant for the swimming pools.
Okay.
N is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration for a bid contract to provide Family Fun Day 2019 for the City of Newark.
Okay.
O is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration for a bid contract to provide blank aluminum sheets to be used for various types of street signs. P is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration for a bid contract to purchase asphalt and concrete mix. Q is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration for a bid contract to provide sodium chloride in bulk quantities for snow melt. R is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration for a bid contract to provide traffic signals basis for the Department of Engineering Division of Traffic and Signals. S is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration for a bid contract to provide printing services of forms, checks, and notices. T is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration for a bid contract to provide traffic control and firmware.
Continue.
U is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration for a bid contract to purchase fire hydrants and parts. V is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration for a bid contract to provide recreational bus transportations to the Department of Recreation, Cultural Affairs, and Senior Services.
Continue.
W is a authorizing resolution for a bid contract to provide cleaning equipment and supplies. X is a, let's stop at W, through 7R1 and W, Council of the Whole to adopt.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 701X is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration to use the state contract for the purchase of 5 or in 2019 or newer Chevy Impala sedans. Y is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration to use the state contract to purchase 1 2019 or newer Dodge Journey.
Okay.
Z is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration to use a state contract to purchase 1 2019 or newer Chevrolet Express 3500 extended passenger van.
Okay.
AA is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration to use the state contract to purchase 5 or 2019 or newer Ford Fiesta sedans. AB is a authorizing use of state contract for the purchase of 1 play unit poured-in-place rubber surface for Boylan Street Recreation Center.
Okay.
Councilman MacGyver, you wish to move this, second by Councilman Osborne?
No, it was McCullum.
McCollum, sorry, Councilman McCollum, second by Councilman Osborne. And AAC is a ratifying authorizing resolution for the Department of Administration for exceptions to public bidding for support, system support, training, enhancement, and maintenance of proprietary software through 7RAC, Council of the Whole, with the exception of AB, which has sponsors.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 7R2A is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Economic and Housing Development for a loan agreement promissory note pursuant to Section 108 Loan Guarantee Program.
Sponsor.
Second.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 7R2B is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Economic and Housing Development for the private sale and redevelopment to rehabilitate the existing property to create rental or for sale housing.
Move it.
Second. Roll call.
Yes.
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 7R2C is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Economic and Housing Development for the private sale and redevelopment to construct two-family homes for sale or rent. Councilman Ramos, second by Councilwoman McIver, wishes to defer action at this time.
Roll call. On defer.
Yes.
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 Yes. Continue.
7R2D is a ratifying, authorizing, and amending resolutions for the One Stop Career Center for the acceptance of grant funds. Council of the Whole to adopt.
Yes.
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 Yes. Continue.
7R3A is a ratifying, authorizing, and amending resolution for the Department of Engineering for a grant agreement to amend Resolution 7R3A, authorized by the City of Newark to enter into a revised formatted cost reimbursement agreement with the New Jersey Department of Transportation. 3B is a authorizing resolution for the Department of Engineering for a refund of monies for construction permit fees. Through 7R3B, Council of the Whole to adopt.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 7R5A is a ratifying, authorizing resolution for the Department of Health and Community Wellness for an application and acceptance of grant funds to increase support to continue support to increase immunization levels. Council of the Whole to adopt.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Continue.
706A is a ratifying, authorizing resolution for the Department of Law for Professional Services contract to provide legal services as special counsel. 6B is a ratifying, authorizing resolution for the Department of Law for a professional services contract to provide special counsel services. Through 7R6B, Council of the Whole to adopt.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Continue.
707A is an ratifying, authorizing resolution for the Office of Mayor and Municipal Courts for ratifying and authorizing resolution for a professional services contract to provide a list of visiting judges.
Roll call.
You
want to do them?
No, let's do
Let's do this.
roll call for 7A.
Council as a whole.
Council of the Whole.
Yes.
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 7R8A is a authorizing resolution for the Office of Municipal Council City Clerk for ceremonial street dedication. 8B is an authorizing resolution for the Office of Municipal Council City Clerk for a resolution to waive special events application fees. This is for boxing on Broad Street. 8C are various expressions of profound sorrow and regret. 8D are various recognizing and commending resolutions. Through 7R8D, Council of the Whole to adopt.
Roll call. Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
7R9A is a ratifying authorizing resolution for the Department of Public Safety Division of Police for an application and acceptance of grant funds for the 2019 Drunk Driving Enforcement Fund. Council of the Whole to adopt.
Roll call. Yes.
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 7R12A is a authorizing resolution for the water sewer utilities for a bid contract to contract for corrosion control pipe loop rig testing. 12B is a authorizing resolution for the water sewer utilities for a bid contract to contract for soil removal and disposal services. 12C is a authorizing resolution for the water sewer utilities for a bid contract to provide valve inspection, testing, and condition assessment. Through 7R12C, Council of the Whole to adopt.
Roll call. Yes.
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 Let's go to the added starter page. 7R2A is a ratifying authorizing resolution for the Department of Economic and Housing Development for the 2019 annual budget for the Partnership West Special Improvement District Management Corporation of the West Ward for Special Improvement Districts. Mr. President, this item is the second reading of a budget, and by law, there must be a public hearing. This is the date and time advertised for that public hearing. Is there anyone present that wishes to be heard on this item?
No one appearing.
No one appearing. Councilman Callum, you wish to move? Second.
Second.
Councilman Quintana, roll call to adopt.
Yes.
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 Yes. Continue.
7R2B is a ratifying authorizing resolution for the Department of Economic and Housing Development for the 2019 annual budget for the Mount Prospect Avenue Neighborhood Improvement District Management Corporation. This is the second reading of this budget item, and by law, there must be a public hearing. This is the time and place advertised for the public hearing. Is there anyone present that wishes to be heard on this resolution?
No one appearing.
No one appearing. Motion to close the public hearing. Councilman?
Move it.
Sponsor?
Second.
Roll call.
Roll call. Yes.
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 7R2C is an ratifying authorizing resolution for the Department of Economic and Housing Development for the 2019 annual budget for the Bloomfield Avenue Lower Broadway Business Improvement District. This is the second reading of this budget item, and by law, there must be a public hearing. This is the time and place advertised for that public hearing. Is there anyone present that wishes to be heard on this resolution?
No one appearing.
No one appearing, Councilman?
Sponsor.
Second.
Roll call.
Call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Continue.
7R4A is an authorizing resolution for the Department of Finance for the tax collector to issue estimated tax bills for the third quarter of 2019. Council of the whole to adopt?
Roll call.
Abstain.
Yes.
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 You messed it up. Keep-
She did. I was listening, you see? She said Quintana, she missed the, that's okay. Okay. All right, no problem.
Let's go back to the agenda. We are on page 46. 8A is a nomination by the mayor for an appointment to the Environmental Commission. 8B is a nomination by the mayor for an appointment to the Affirmative Action Review Council. 8C is a nomination by the mayor for an appointment to the Commission on Homelessness. 8, let's stop there. Through 8C, Council of the Whole to adopt.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes to all, abstain on 8B.
Yes.
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 Back to the added starter page, page 3. 8D is a nomination by the mayor for an appointment to the Housing Authority.
Sponsor.
Second.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 8E is a nomination by the mayor for an appointment to the Rent Control Board.
Sponsor. Second.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 8F is a nomination by the mayor for an appointment to the Hispanic Commission. 8G is a nomination by the mayor for an appointment to the Hispanic Commission. 8H is a nomination by the mayor for an appointment to the Taxi Cab Commission.
Okay.
8I is a nomination by the mayor for a reappointment to the Hispanic Commission. 8J is a nomination by the mayor for a reappointment to the Hispanic Commission. And 8K is a nomination by the mayor for a reappointment to the Hispanic Commission. Through 8K, Council of the Whole to adopt.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 Still on the added starter page, we're on page 6. 8L is an ordinance granting a 30-year tax abatement to the Geloff Senior Estate Urban Renewal LLC for a project to construct a new building consisting of 50 senior affordable housing units located at 220-224 and 226-230 Geloff Avenue.
Sponsor. Second.
Roll call.
This, hold on,
Yes.
hold on. Are we moving,
Yeah, moving.
simply advancing to first,
Yes.
not adopting?
Advance and adopt on first.
Just, are we moving and adopting on first, or
Advance
simply
and
moving
adopt.
into first? Advance and
Advance and adopt, yes.
Advance and adopt on first reading. Roll call to advance and adopt as 6F, what? Go to the roll call.
Roll call.
E.
Yes.
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 Chairperson.
Yes. Councilman James.
Mr. Clerk, I'd like to be noted as defer on 6F through 6FE, and yes on the remainder
6FA,
through 6FE.
Okay. As noted.
So page 3 through 6. That's the Airbnb deferral.
Oh.
And then yes on the remainder.
Yes, okay, yes, sir.
Clerk?
Yes. Mr. President, the items adopted on first reading, including this last item, which was adopted as 6FE, will be advertised in accordance with law, and a public hearing will be held at the regular council meeting of August 7th, beginning at 12:30 p.m. here in the council chamber. Back to the agenda. We are on page 48. Pending business 9A is a nomination by the mayor for an appointment to the Newark Equitable Growth Advisory Commission. Councilwoman Crump and Councilwoman McIver, in the absence of Council President Crump, would you like to be moved up to sponsor?
That's fine.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 Councilman Callum, do you wish to vote on this item? Yes. 9B is an ordinance providing for the vacation of the entirety of Passaic Place. Council of the whole to advance to first reading?
Roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Changing now to the senior citizens.
Council of the whole to accept the bingo raffle license?
Yes.
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 Mr. President, that concludes the agenda. Would you like to go on to the hearing of citizens before we do motions?
Hearing citizens.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Newark Municipal Council's hearing of citizens. Only those individuals who have signed up by the closing deadline will be permitted to speak this afternoon. When your name is called, please step to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. You'll be given 5 minutes to speak. You'll see a small timing device on the podium in front of you when you begin speaking, which will begin counting down your time. When you reach the 4-minute mark, the yellow light will illuminate, indicating that you have 1 minute remaining for summation. When you reach your 5th minute, the red light will illuminate, and there will be an audible sound indicating that you have used all of your time. Please look forward, speak into the microphone. We are recording these proceedings, and if you turn away, we may miss part of your statement. Please address questions to the chair and not to individual council members. First speaker for today is Colleen Fields.
Not appearing. Not appearing.
Opal R. Wright.
She's here.
Yes, good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
council people. My name is Opal R. Wright, and I reside on Vanderbilt Street in Newark, New Jersey. I'm here concerned with all the funds being provided in the laws, the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009. I'm concerned with the funds that are named for distribution to the programs and services. I noticed that there has been a lot of the last month, we were hoping that the additional funds would be applied, or at least the applications would be filled out according to the needs, the emergent needs of the residents in the city of Newark. There's also the relief, that's pretty much for Division A of this law, and Division B, there is the tax reliefs, which I'm sure if we were to have all of the provisions there, provided that there would be a lot of ease or provisions that would be provided to those who qualify. We also have there's other provisions throughout the law, and it's just the workforce. There's a lot of provisions of which I'm sure are being provided, but one particular, I would like to just bring up the fact that I was reading the workforce is providing the broadband, I guess you could say the training for broadband, and I'm sure that they have funded the training manuals or whatever books that they may have there to read, and so that they would be able to have those that are training working as soon as possible, or making sure that they've completed their training. At the same time, for years, we've been asking for just that education. The funds have been provided to the the institution, and once you provide that fund to the institution, they are fine with the council's, with the workforce decision, but the person who is in need would have to have fees and books, the costs in their pocket, so they would have to pretty much work or look for work. But we were trying to use the additional funding to find out if that could be somewhat provided, the cost of those books, and that would help the person who is in distress. That's just a comparison. The Dodd-Frank Wall Street reform and consumer protection. I was reading that the entire, all of the titles, you have your subtitles, you have your sections. When you find that you're interested in any of that law implemented, we should contact our the municipal body, I guess that would be the council people, and find out about what we can do, present plans, and try to get all of this law presented, implemented. One particular, I was reading each, so when I read each of the titles, I see that the title, either the information or whatever the law that you studied needs to have someone who's to fill or to show support that you want this implemented. So each day we hear in the news that it's pretty much repealed or someone has been dismissed.
Thank you.
But thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Frederica Bay.
Not appearing.
Lisa Parker.
Appearing.
Good afternoon, Lisa Parker, resident in Newark.
Afternoon.
I'd first like to thank the council members that came to Gail Muhammad street naming last week. It was definitely an honor because she was an ambassador of our city and our community. So Quintana, Osborne, and Mildred Crump, I want to thank you. And Councilman Ramos, you weren't here the last time, but I want to thank you for the ask in the community, for that eyesore and that problem we were having, and it got resolved. But I see that entity moved into the West Ward. I don't care as long as it's not in our backyard, and we got resolved for it. The first thing I want to talk about is the water in our city. If any of you received this pamphlet in the mail, about the water and the sewer department and all the efforts that the city is making to make our water safe and clean, throw this pamphlet in the garbage. It's not worth the paper it's written on. Here's the facts. The city lied and ignored the problem for 18 months. The NRDC sued the city, and that is when the city took action because they were lying about the problem. They ignored treatment of it, and they ignored the warnings from the state and the NRDC. Our water from 2017 now has an increase of lead and trudicity, which is cloudy water, by 60%. This is a health crisis for our city. They fail to properly treat the water. Even their own experts a few months ago said the current treatment that they're using is going to take 8 months to a year to correct the problem, if that is corrected. We had 2 recent articles about northern New Jersey having Legionnaire's disease that has a direct correlation with lead in the water from the water source. So my question for this council here is the city is doing as little as possible to treat, correct, and provide resources like bottled water, information, and testing. So the question is, what is the city doing to correct that? And this little booklet doesn't express that because hundreds of people have called and haven't been serviced to have their water tested. Incompetence of persons running a department. We need content experts and people that have the wherewithal to do this. Not your boy, not your friends, the families, and et cetera. We need content experts. The next thing is public safety. Oh, let me go back. And we shouldn't be increasing our water bill until you clean the water and make it safe for us to drink, for our children, for our elders, and everyone else that lives in this city. Let's talk about public safety because I have a minute and a half. What is the plan for the attrition of 200 police officers this year when they retire? How are they being replaced? We have shootouts at schools, murders, Broad and Market, people being shot. That's like getting shot on 34th Street in New York. Carjackings this morning, up the street from me. They carjacked the woman's thing going into the gas station. The reason this is because the criminals out here don't see any patrols on our street. Now, we spending all this money, and the budget for the public safety is trying to add $23 million to their budget for what? And we aren't being protected as it is. That's going to translate to a 2% increase in your taxes. If you're not already getting the services now for the work that you're not doing, what are you doing to improve those services in our communities to make us safer? Because we're not safe. Our streets aren't safer. The crime is not down by 50% according to the mayor. So I'd like to know, before you pass a budget for $23 million, tell us what you've done for what we've already paid for that we're not getting. The next thing, I see all these banners all over the bus stops here, moving the city forward. First off, how are you moving the city forward when we have the unemployment rate the way it is? Amazon is going to reduce their staff and work staff by 30% in the next 4 years. The mayor promised 50,000 jobs from Amazon that we haven't gotten.
Thank you, Ms. Parker. Thank you. Next speaker.
Maria Nasisco.
Great, because I want to light y'all.
Ms.
She's preparing. Maria? You're Maria? Okay. State your name and address for the record.
I'm Maria Nicasio from 383 Mount Prospect Avenue, located in the historic district. My husband and I invested here in 1999 in this multifamily commercial building, the greenhouse with the red trim and lawn. But we live in Rahway. But we invested in Newark because in an old structure that was in complete disrepair. As investors, we saw the potential. As immigrants, we had the dream of restoring the old house into its former grandeur. 20 years later, we're still here. We are in the neighborhood nearly every day to perform all the maintenance in every unit. We are here every Saturday to mow the lawn and to shovel the snow every time it snows. We are the definition of hands-on landlords. Our neighbors know us. They see us in our property and commend the way we maintain our property. They also watch our backs. As landlords, we build relationships, those of trust, professionalism, reliance, and friendship. We've helped tenants move from renting to home ownership, from despair to successes, because while renting with us, they can focus on their personal goals and successes. My point is, owner occupancy is not the only way that people can participate in their communities. As an investment property, and commercial at that, we pay higher mortgage interest rates. We pay higher taxes, and we have commercial insurance covered with more than $1 million in liability. Explicitly, our intent from the very beginning is not to make it owner-occupied. It is intended to be an investment in a community that needed grassroots investors. One of the most difficult and frustrating challenges of hosting in Newark is unstigmatizing the prejudices and misconceptions associated with Newark. Guests are mainly concerned about their safety, and allaying their fears is really difficult as we cannot guarantee them anything that's beyond our control. All we can prove to them is that for the 20 years that we've been here in Newark, nothing untoward has happened to us, our tenants, nor our property. Being in the historic district is an advantage and a source of pride for us to show the grandeur of our historic architecture, suburban feel of the neighborhood, and the cleanliness block after block. We must showcase and put our best foot forward if we really want to shatter prejudices of our beloved Newark. No public relations company can surpass the impressions our guests learn to appreciate when they leave Newark. They go back home with the realization that whatever they've heard of Newark are all misconceptions, prejudices, and myths. Newark's strength is in the diversity of people who come from all walks of life and from different places, full of dreams, smarts, and entrepreneurial spirit. They know how to look ahead, optimize opportunities, operate with reason, and take advantage of innovation and technology. This is the time to compete with Jersey City and Hoboken, two cities a hop from Manhattan, but really very expensive for ordinary people. This is the time to entice a young generation to move out of Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Queens. Instead, engage in our community, invest here, build their homes here, and build their families. We can prove that anyone can do it in Newark. 31 years ago, my husband and I immigrated to New Jersey with a young family with nothing more than $1,000. Since then, and through our sweat and personal sacrifices, we have put together a real estate portfolio that inspires the young generation. Where do you think we encourage them to invest? Newark. Why not? This is the city that has not disappointed us. This is the city that we believe in, and I hope you don't turn your backs on us. I graduated last year from my MBA in Rutgers Business School. Instead of pursuing a career in Wall Street where I used to work, I decided to diversify my investment into to include short-term rental. This is a very personal decision for me. Instead of just being a handy woman, I also added chambermaid in my job title. This is because I wanted to teach my disabled daughter the business model of short-term, so that even if my husband and I are long gone, she can still manage a business on her own.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President?
Yes, Council Ramos.
Can you state your address again? Because they have I guess they have the wrong address on the agenda.
3 Mount Prospect. Oh, that's my home in Rahway.
That's what?
I live in Rahway.
Okay, it doesn't have you in Rawway here.
And then my property is at 383 Mount Prospect. I know I belong in your ward.
380 Mount Prospect?
383 Mount Prospect, next to Mount Prospect Manor and across the big tall apartment building.
What is it again? 3 what?
383.
383, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker.
Ranisa Aerosmith.
Not appearing. Next speaker.
Not appearing.
Not appearing.
David H. Yen.
Not appearing.
Deirdre Webb.
Appearing.
Good afternoon, council members. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you this afternoon. My name is Deirdre Webb, and I'm a proud City of Newark resident for 25 years, a South Ward homeowner for 15.9 years, and an unofficial city ambassador, also known as a legal short-term rental host. I've already sent an email letter to the council members, so I'll jump right into asking for the following considerations and sharing my concerns. Newark's entrepreneurial spirit, economic development, including sharing economies, and Renaissance efforts are finally shining through, in my opinion. Newark short-term rentals are contributing to these initiatives on all fronts. During your deliberations, I simply ask that you do not paint legal short-term rentals with a broad brush, that you always be mindful who stands to gain the most from the legislation, regular Newarkers or covert lobbyists or others. Is legislation already in place to address concerns that have been raised? And to keep also in mind that home ownership and entrepreneurship are the backbones of stability and financial independence in our communities. And also, I haven't seen any information during my research in preparing to speak today, but what does the factual data and statistics shows? Is the legislation proven to be warranted, wanted, or needed for such a small segment of the community? My concerns again fall into the following areas. Regarding a non-refundable registration fee, I still believe that it's a little high in my opinion. Sorry. I wrote it down so I wouldn't get nervous, but I'm nervous anyway.
Take your time.
Thank you very much. That the standard for us to prove our identity and residency that's being offered is higher than the standards that the federal state governments require. So I would say that if we can just implement those requirements, that would be satisfactory to me, but not to hold us to a different standard than what it would take me to get a driver's license in the state of New Jersey. You can only rent one room or one unit out of your house. And my statement to that is that not all homes are created equal. And let me use my example, my situation as an example. I have a single-family home, and in that home, I offer actually have 3 listings in that single-family home. I have 2 bedrooms. I have one bedroom that has a queen bed, and a second bedroom that has a single twin bed in it. I only allow 1 guest in my home at a time for my situation. And the listings are this: you can either book the single queen room, you can book the twin room, or you can book both rooms. So that allows a family, which I often get, that can be between 3 to 4 people if it's children, that they can all come to the same property and share my experience that I've established. But for the majority of my guests, it's basically just 1 or 2 people. So only allowing 1 room will prevent me from offering that family of 3 the opportunity to share my experience, even though I have the space to do so. It would be no different if you went to a hotel and had booked a room that had 2 queen beds and a pull-out sofa. It's that same situation. And it's set up, and my rules are very strict. I only allow people between certain ages to book, and even with the children, and no unaccompanied minors in my residency. Okay. Limit on parking spaces. For all those who are residents, parking is a chore anyway. I'm very fortunate that I have a very long driveway, and pretty much I have the ability to offer my guests off-street parking, if that's the situation. I also live on a block that really does have ample parking. So I'm not going to act like this is a big concern of mine, but if it becomes restricted, again, my concern is this: if you're going to restrict me, restrict my neighbors. I have neighbors who have 7 adults living in their house, and they have 3 or 4 cars. And then their friends come over. So again, if you're going to restrict me, restrict everybody else in the community as well. My situation, it is going to be owner-occupied and will always be owner-occupied if what I wish happens to come to fruition. So again, I just ask that you don't paint with a broad brush, that you take these into consideration. We're hardworking, honest people. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Webb.
Next speaker.
Gary Foot?
Appearing. Is she appearing? No. Somebody is appearing. Somebody stood up, I'm sorry. Not appearing. Next speaker.
Kimberly Harrison?
Appearing. Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is not Gary Foote. My name is Kimberly Harrison. I reside at 25 Branford Street, and I'm a homeowner and resident, obviously, in the South Ward. I attended the City Council meeting yesterday and this past June 18th and took the opportunity to speak during the citizens' hearing portion of the June 18th meeting as well. I used that opportunity to stress my concerns over the upcoming vote on the proposed legislation regarding the short-term rentals that would contain such stringent requirements and regulations. It would inevitably strangle any participation in any short-term rental platforms. In the interim between June 18th and today, I and several other Airbnb hosts wrote letters to each of you, and with the exception of Councilman Crump, as she made it clear, under no uncertain circumstances. Yeah, I thought about that. Yeah, okay. As she made it clear, under no uncertain terms, that she was already decidedly against Airbnb when she attributed Airbnb to the decline of the quality of life on her block. As I mentioned in my letter to each of you, which I received a reply from council members McIver, Gonzalez, and James, which I greatly appreciate. Thank you very much. I mentioned in my letter that I agree with Ms. Crump on several issues. She was upset that the property was not being taken care of, that the tenants had no regard for the property or the other residents on the street. They were disrespectful, they were belligerent, they were causing multiple visits by the police on her street, that there was a decrease in quality of life on the street and the block, and that the tenants were destroying the property. I share those same concerns with Ms. Crump, and I have had those exact same experiences as Ms. Crump has had. The major difference is that all those same things that she's complaining about were done by long-term tenants on my street, not Airbnb. And so if this legislation is passed, it will not correct the decline in the quality of life Ms. Crump speaks about and that she's concerned about, and which I'm concerned about as well, because the root of the problem is the absentee homeowners and the arm's length management. And as Councilmember Ramos and McCullum stated yesterday regarding the plastic bags and the refuse, there are already laws that are in place, but they're just not being enforced. And it would increase the quality of life if they were actually enforced. Now, Ms. Crump's derelict neighbors, who also happen to be Airbnb hosts, they'll still be derelict neighbors, even if the legislation is passed, because they've decided that they're going to be hands-off management. And I understand the focus of the legislation is regarding the short-term rental platforms, but the true root of the problem is that does need to be addressed is absentee homeowners and arm's length management, which is what, in part, what Ms. McIver was talking about in reference to the security for the buildings with large units. But the stringent and impossible to comply regulations will only strangle those of us who are residing homeowners, those of us who are average Newarkers, those of us who use the platform of short-term rental through Airbnb to pay our property taxes, those of us who provide hospitality to guests who choose to stay in Newark because New York is too expensive, and so are the Newark hotels. So we, as short-term rental hosts, provide a viable option to continue generating revenue in the city of Newark. Those funds are generated multiple times over through the host's ability to to pay the ever-rising property taxes and the guest contribution to the Newark economy through public transportation, restaurants, tourist attractions, and so many of my guests have come here and asked what can they do here in Newark, and I give them all the different restaurants and cultural experiences that they can have here, and they wind up staying here instead of going to New York. That's not something that they would have done if they had gone to a hotel or if they had actually stayed in New York like they had planned to. And according to the NewJersey.com, they had an article on February 7th, 2019, and it stated, Mr. Kenyatta Stewart, the council said, quote, "The proposed legislation was prompted by residents complaining about short-term rentals bringing unknown groups of people to their blocks," unquote. Furthermore, in the same article, it stated that there are only 250 Airbnb hosts in the entire city of Newark as of last year, 2018. There aren't even enough hosts in Newark to be causing all the disruption that supposedly lays squarely on the Airbnb shoulders or the short-term rental shoulders. This legislation was to be voted on today, but my hope in speaking with you is that you will consider the fundamental elements prior to casting your vote, whenever that may be. One, with only a couple of hosts, we can't be, the positives outweigh the negatives, and if you would reconsider the points of proof of residency.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. Next speaker. Good presentation.
Anita Dies.
Not appearing.
Sean Small.
Appearing.
Good afternoon. Sean Small, Newark Council, President, Newark Council 21, 920 Broad Street, Room B7. I'd like to thank Council, everyone, for having me here today. You're aware Newark Council 21 represent close to 900 members of the City of Newark. We're here today to address an issue, which is the Steve Sweeney path to poverty. Proposal why we must oppose it. The goal of the city service system and the public employee was to recruit and maintain high-quality workforce of the best and the brightest who are willing to devote their careers to carry a public service. However, Senator Steve Sweeney has proposed a 27 bill to the state legislature that as a package entitled Path to Progress. Several of those bills, if passed, will result in devastating cuts to the public sector workers' benefit. Started with health care. Sweeney's proposal, a law that no public pension plan can pay more than 80% of total spent given to doctors and hospitals. No matter how much workers are paying toward premiums, 20% must come in form of out-of-pocket payment from the workforce in the form of co-payments, co-pays, or deductibles. This means no matter what is done to reduce the total amount spent, workers must have a total out-of-pocket cost of 20%. This will raise workers' out-of-pocket costs for health care by an enormous amount in addition to what workers are paying for their premium share. This means hundreds and possibly thousands of dollars in deductibles, copay, and co-insurance. The claim is that this is based upon Affordable Act Gold Care Act plan, the Gold, Silver, and Bronze plan, and on Affordable Care Act exchange are based upon the individual markets, not as a group market. Group plans are based on the actual experience of the group, not individuals. 2, pension. Sweeney proposed a new hybrid pension plan for workers. With fewer than 5 years of service and all new workers, this plan increased the normal retirement age from 65 to 67, but only provides up to $40,000 in salary covered by the state pension as workers continue to contribute 7.5% of their pay. Any salary above $40,000 will be part of the 401k plan with no employer match and the interest of the employee's contribution limited to 4%. As a result, it is 100% workers' paid pension. This plan could not survive only with contribution from the workers earning $40,000 or less coming into the plan. The governor wants to make a record $3 billion contribution to the pension plan, where I'm finally almost getting to a full payment. A full payment to the pension plan has not been made in 24 years. Sweeney proposed full payment by 2018. Here it is, 2019. We are still only at 70% of the payment. Now that we are getting close, Sweeney wants to cut the pension plan. Sweeney stated the goal of the path to progress is to cut our benefits so they don't raise taxes. This is called the path to poverty. What they're looking into is to get it deeper into our pockets, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I'm here on behalf of council. I'm here on behalf of not only Newark Council 21, but this also affects our collective bargaining rights for all 12 collective bargaining units in the city of Newark. I have a resolution for proposal for the council. I would like to read it. 36 seconds left. I'd like to read it, if permitted. Whereas Newark Council 21 IFPTE AFL-CIO is dedicated to strengthening workers' rights through organizing and collective bargaining, and whereas Newark Council 21 IFPTE AFL-CIO is dedicated to improving the lives of public sector workers and their families through collective bargaining to increase wage, obtain health care insurance, and retirement security through pensions, and negotiate terms and conditions of employment. And whereas the New Jersey Fiscal Policy Workers Group Path to Progress report recommended the erosion of collective bargaining rights and retirement security for tens of thousands of public sector workers and union members in New Jersey. Disproportionately places the financial burden on hard-working public sector workers through legislation rather than collective bargaining units. Whereas the Newark Municipal Council is in support of Newark Council 21, AFL-CIO efforts to maintain public sector rights and benefits through collective bargaining. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sending this proposal, resolution to oppose this.
Can you give that to us and to the clerk? Thank you. Sean.
Thank you.
Next speaker.
10-4 Evans.
Not appearing.
Bernard Rollins.
Appearing.
Appearing.
Bernard Rollins, 8587 Palm Street. I'm here this, good afternoon, City Council.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm here, the few concerns. My daughter just bought a house here in the city of Newark. She closed on North 6th Street. The person who was taking the information, she said she cannot put everything on the paper. So I want to deal with my daughter first. There is dumping in the area where she lives, and it's been ongoing. I mean, I've gone there to clean up some of the dumping and some of the stuff that is taking place. But there is some homes there, I don't know if it was purchased by the city, if it was purchased by folks who don't live in the city, but these areas are blights that should be addressed. And it's an urgency as it applies to where she's living. She's a young lady, 31 years of age, and would like to be safe. So I'm asking if the city can address the dumping at Goat Place and North 6th Street.
What is it, Rollins?
Goat Place and North 6th Street. It's right by the police station there when you get onto the 280. Oh, yeah. Okay. I am here to address the Newark City Council on some areas concerned to me as a taxpayer and a resident of Palm Street. And it has to do with total quality, which is of utmost importance to my living space, and by extension, should be applicable to all areas by the city ordinance. Utilities, operation, and service contractors, heavy rigs, 18-wheelers, plying the city streets, contractors engage with city infrastructure upgrade, and faith-based organizations structural upgrade expansion to meet their growing population should remember this community which they benefit must be respected and given social and economic attention. Utilities operation. Utilities companies are contracted to perform work in the city of Newark. By right, notices should be sent out to tenants and taxpayers of the city about the intended work construction and time period to which affects the same. Too often construction takes place unknowingly on my street, Palm Street, without any notification. They dig up the streets and never return to examine the state of affair after winter, summer, where there is expansion and contraction, resulting in serious sinkholes after construction work is done. Sudden construction activities take place in front of an individual's home or on the street must be addressed. No water without a notice. Palm Street is a one-way street to Tremont Avenue. Heavy rigs plying the streets of Palm Street. All respect due to the trucking activities, but light trucks with less height and weight should be encouraged by a process called cross-docking. Cross-docking means that any truck coming into Newark, there is a halt, and light trucks can do the business of the business of delivery. One such truck that I'm talking about is the Dunkin' Donuts truck to the head of the street of Palm Street. Palm Street is divided into Bedford, and you have Bedford and you have Palm Street. And when the Dunkin' Donuts truck comes through the street, I'm just giving an example, it pulls away, it destroys or dismantles more or less a large portion of the cables across the street. This is not only happening on my street, but it's happening on most of the streets in the city of Newark. I'm asking the city council to please, I'm not only asked here standing on behalf of Palm Street, but as a resident of Newark, that the city council address heavy riggers coming into the city, and they should pay attention to the height of the wires that they're destroying. Contractors engage with city infrastructure. Contractors must be held accountable for quality of work. Contractors must notify homeowners about intended construction. Inspection before and after work must take place. Faith-based organization must hold up the end in the community building. I have no problem with faith-based making a loud noise and increasing expansion in West Ward. Thank you. More attention should be paid to...
Your time is up, sir. Thank you. You have anything in writing that we can you give it to the clerk? Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman McCollum.
Mr. Reynolds, I will request a traffic study for Palm Street. We'll request a traffic study because I agree with you. Big trucks shouldn't be going through that street.
Give it to the staff. Thank you. Councilman. Done?
Yeah.
Right. Next speaker. Clerk.
Rick Robinson.
Not appearing.
Hope Jackson.
Up here.
Here. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Hope Jackson. I live at 182 Mapes Avenue, Newark, New Jersey. I come this afternoon to talk, and listening to the people talking, you understand that all problems lead to lack of money or money thereof. And since we in the city of Newark are lacking in the necessary funds that's required today to live a very comfortable life, So I just want to say, what I come to say, I come today deliberately to talk about money and its effect on people. Newark residents, the majority of Newark residents are not middle class. And every time you read the paper, you read anything about any bills or anything being passed, it's always addressed to the middle class. However, in the community that I live in, and I'm including Newark, I'm including East Orange, I'm including Orange, Irvington, Maplewood, all those places where you'd be hard-pressed to find a majority of the people that's middle class. The majority of them are moderate and moderate class or poor, according to the statistics that our government has laid out for us. So, and reading the papers and listening to the news and whatnot, I felt the need to come and talk to the seat of government about the things that's happening in the state, Trenton to be exact. When they passed the budget here last week and they left out that millionaire's tax that our governor was trying to provide, that was a slap in the face of the majority of the people that live in the state of New Jersey. It was a slap in the face. The amount of millionaires that we have in here that would have been affected is less than 1%, so few, because we don't have that many millionaires running around here. Most of the people are low, moderate income, poor, or you might have a few middle class. And then you have a low middle class. And then you have, in Essex County, a large percentage, in fact, the majority of the people in Essex County are Democrats. We have a Democrat governor. We have a Democrat president of the Senate. We have a Democrat leading of the representative. How then did that bill not pass? Why did they slap us in the face and let that thing go down without it being in the budget? Which leave us poor people, us poor taxpayers, us low moderate folk facing an increase in taxes while you got these millionaires walking around. And many of the millionaires was willing to pay that extra tax. They didn't ask them to pay it on the millions, so anything above $1 million. It was a slap in the face. And we sitting here, we're not doing anything, nobody's saying anything about it. I want to hear from the leaders of the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party, the state Democratic Party, should be incensed. We should be hearing all kinds of rejections and fussing and whatever goes on about that. Nobody's saying it. So I'm coming to you because you were elected by the people, because you have a constituency, you have the ability to make news, you have the ability to gather people. We need to rise up. And that president of the Senate, Mr. Sweeney, that works so well with Christie, our Republican governor that shafts us every chance he got. He sits there and calls himself a Democrat. He calls himself a Labor man. He is a false. He is a fake. He needs to be exposed. It needs to be talked about. And we need to do something about this. This is terrible that's going on because I can't afford my taxes to keep going up. Can't afford it. I need some relief. I need some relief here. I need somebody to come for. I need to see a hue and cry against what's going on. And then we've got, here in Essex County, we've got our county chairperson is a black man. We need to bring them together. Not that that has anything to do with it, but we got the chairman of Mount Clair. We got a chairman of Nutley. We got a chairman of East Orange. We got a chairman of Maplewood. We got the Belleville. Where's their voices? Democrats, where's their voices? I want you all to get together and call on them. You should all get together and make a call and ask them how do they feel about the millionaire's tax not passing. And then I want to also say how the Star Ledger is going along with this game that Mr. Coughlin and Mr. Sweeney is trying to play on our governor. I'm not saying Murphy is perfect, but he was elected governor. And the deal they're putting on him is a shame and a disgrace, and we need to do something about it, and it needs to be voiced.
Thank you. Next speaker. Next speaker.
Brian Taylor.
Not appearing.
Levita Johnson.
Levita Johnson. She's here.
Good afternoon. My name is Levita Johnson, and I'm a resident and a voter right here in the city of Newark. I'm here representing the Newark branch NAACP on this afternoon. We are having a health and wellness fair on Tuesday, July 16th, at the Essex County Westside Park Community Center, which is located at 600 South 17th Street between 16th and 18th Avenue from 3 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. We have a variety of resources that are going to be taking place on that day. There are going to be various discussions in reference to OBGYN, pediatrics, breastfeeding, the importance of vaccinations, respiratory information, COPD, emergency medicine, EMS, behavioral health, cardiology, endocrinology, ultimate mind-body-spirit presentation, how to de-stress, how to sleep, how to eat healthy, how to breathe your way through fitness, HIV and AIDS prevention and treatment. There's also going to be a live screening going on. Healthy food sources and additional information. As of now, we have the following partners: University Hospital, the City of Newark, Horizon, the County of Essex, Embrace Your Fitness, Rutgers Behavioral Health, the Newark Bronx Shields, HPAE, and Mrs. Rowe, who's going to show a live film in reference to a young lady with HIVs, who's living with it currently. We have also distributed flyers to all of the city council members requesting if you can do a donation to us, donating healthy snacks, water, or ice to help to make this event successful. You will receive a follow-up phone call either from myself or Sharice Dawson, who is my co-chair. And if you need to contact me, you can reach me at 973-624-6400, or the email address is newarknaacp@gmail.com. And I want to thank you all for your time and your patience on this afternoon.
Thank you, Levita.
Okay.
That can also be included. It's called, yes.
All right, next speaker.
Timothy Dingman,
Not appearing.
Deborah Salters,
Appearing. Manera, have a speaker, please.
Good afternoon, Deborah Salter, City of Newark. First of all, the senior project that's being built, I was talking, so I missed my chance to say something on that. I'm very pleased with that. We need more of these for senior housing, preferably 1 or 2 in every ward, if we can make that happen with all of these abandoned properties we have. I know it takes money, but I'm rallying for some funds so we can get that done. All right, so, the new park, Commons, that's on Mulberry. And I use that every chance I get. I'm over there. Okay, I've been chided at the ribbon cutting for dancing as if it were made for me and enjoying it. Whether it was made for me or not, I'm going to enjoy it because it's my tax dollars that are going into it. Also, at the ribbon cutting, I've had several conversations. I talk to people all the time. What do you think about this? And this is what I feel, and things like that. So in the conversation, we talked about the ribbon cutting, and so we were talking about the details. And we talked about the hot dogs. Well, they were lukewarm, and we had some popcorn and some cotton candy. We only had water, so these are things that are being said. So the overall picture of it was that the opening or the ribbon cutting was lackluster. And then someone said to me, well, at least they gave us this, or at least. And that struck me, as a constituent. And I said, at least? At least? Why are we comfortable with least? We should be living in the superlatives. We should demand the superlatives. We should expect the superlatives. The superlatives meaning most, more, better, best, okay? Excellence. These are the things that we deserve. These are the things that our tax dollars pay for. When you have a BA who's making $260,000 a year, when we have a council who has given themselves a 38% raise along with the mayor's office, and we have 19,000 plus people on a waiting list for affordable housing, We have toxic water in a toxic city with a toxic administration. None of these things are in the superlatives, but yet we continue to look to our administrators to put us there. So I'm saying to my fellow constituents, my fellow Norkers, my people, up you mighty race, accomplish what you will. The power is in your hand, okay? We employ our council people, we employ our legislators, so we need to reach out to our governor's offices, our council people, our mayor's offices. The thing is, it takes energy, people, and you can't be lazy. It takes energy. If you want better, you have to demand better. You have to wake up and expect better. I expect better every day. That's why when I see my council people and everyone else in the city, I love on everybody. But I'm going to hold you accountable because I hold myself accountable. I hold myself to a higher standard, so I'm going to hold you to that standard because we've been promised things that we do not have. Let's talk about clean water. That's simple. Why can't we have clean water? We have 2 water bills, okay? The mother was talking about her taxes going up, and it's true. We have buildings who are getting 35, 50 to 25-year tax abatements, and I keep saying this, if we pour this money into our small businesses, there are people I know now who are attempting to get businesses to open businesses. They've been calling and knocking on doors and sending emails. My brown people, you know, and no one's responding. They go to CEDC, they come to City Hall, they're calling every number, they come in the building, but we cannot get a lot. We cannot get a building that's there already to open up a business, legitimate businesses. Why can't we get this? Is it because we don't have something to give you all? Because we don't have quid pro quo to give? You know, we don't have that. We don't have an envelope or a briefcase or whatever deal. We don't have that. But we can't get it, and we are the Newark residents. We are the people whose blood, sweat, and tears have kept this city going. My mother, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, the mother here, you know, our seniors. Like, what are we doing to actually make sure that the Newarkers are benefiting? When we talk about quality of life and Newark forward, again, Newark is not brick and mortar. Newark is the people. I am Newark. She is Newark. We are Newark, and without us, you don't have a job. You don't have something to be an administrator over. And I'm saying to you that my people are hungry. We out here, mental health, mental illness is real, homelessness is real, and we need these things addressed, and they're not addressed enough when people are making $250,000 a year. You understand? Like, and we don't have money for our people, but we have money to pay other people, and we've hired even more people, and skip the first and second step. They're coming in at $68,000, $80,000 a year, and they're not from Newark, they're from Orange. What are we doing?
Thank you. Thank you. It's the end of speakers, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. President, that concludes the list of speakers for this afternoon. The next hearing of citizens will take place at the regular council meeting of Wednesday, August the 7th, beginning at 12:30 p.m. here in the council chamber. I have one pre-printed motion. This is from Council President Crump. On Thursday, June 20th, 2019, my legislative aide, Kenny Watkins, and I attended a community meeting at Newark Day Center, 43 Hill Street, where Dr. Johnson is the director of Newark Day Center, Newark Fresh Air Fund. Also, Newark Police Detective Mike Silver, Karen Tarver from the City of Newark's Office of Service, and Ms. Graham, aide to Central Ward Councilwoman McIver, were in attendance. Numerous complaints and issues were brought to our attention regarding the drug activity, prostitution, and other crimes that are taking place all on and around Broad Street, Halsey Street, and Washington Street between William and Hall Street. All offices, businesses, and residents are extremely upset and horrified of the conditions that they face walking, working, and living in due to the lack of police visibility in the area, especially at night. Additionally, there are 2 follow-up meetings regarding these same issues, Monday, July 8, 2019 in the Hallmark House, 10 Hill Street, with the manager, Ms. Johnson, and on Tuesday, July 9, 2019 at the Covenant House, 330 Washington Street, with Julia Inbound, Director of Strategy and Learning, and Amy Alberts, Esquire, Staff Attorney. Therefore, I am making a motion to request that the Director of Public Safety provide additional police services in these areas, rather by foot patrolling, horses, motorcycles, and/or squad vehicles to help deter criminal activity in the aforementioned areas. Please ensure that this matter be forwarded to the administration as well.
All right,
Council of the whole to adopt?
roll call. Yes.
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 That's crazy.
Yes.
Yes. Councilman Ramos?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just one motion. I had the opportunity last night to attend the Lake Street Homeowners Association meeting, and I want to send a letter on behalf of the council to their president and our district leader, Mr. Jose Santiago, and just some correspondence through your chair and the clerk to the engineering department. I had requested some time ago a traffic study for Lake Street between Park Avenue and Bloomfield Avenue. It's a pretty long stretch. We have Little League fields adjacent to that street in Branch Brook Park, and there have been, a large number of traffic incidents and accidents on that street. And I do understand that we cannot install speed humps because Lake Street's considered, a street that's utilized by emergency vehicles. But there are some other traffic calming measures that I'm sure the department can come up with, whether it's signage, flashing lights, the digital speed limit signs, so I would love to see, through your chair and the clerk, a second notice be issued to the engineering department regarding this. And if there are some measures they can put in place, I would like to see those measures in place prior to the start of the school year. And that's it, Mr. President.
Mr. Clerk has noted.
Second.
Roll call.
And I'm going to excuse myself after this.
Yes, okay. Yes.
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 Yes. Councilman Osborne?
I would like to have a letter from the Director of the Newark Housing Authority to the clerks to provide a clear opinion on what his stance is on the security ordinance, because at this point I got different conflicting stories from him on that. So I just need it by the next meeting, a clear opinion on what his stance is on the security ordinance. The second is a letter to New Jersey Transit in regard to the graffiti on the bridges along the Orange Street from First Street to Roosevelt Avenue. There's a lot of graffiti on the bridges. I've been getting some complaints about that. And that's it.
Okay.
Second.
Roll call. Yes.
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 Yes. Councilman McIver?
Good afternoon. I just want to thank the residents of Muhammad Ali Avenue for coming out to our street meeting, our neighborhood street meeting last night. We had a successful meeting. This is our second meeting kicking off our neighborhood street meetings in the Central Ward, and we look forward to having the rest of them for the rest of the summer. Residents can definitely participate, bring their folding chair and come out and have a conversation with us regarding some things that are happening in their neighborhoods and what we can do to make it better. So thank you to those residents who came out. I'd also like to give kudos to Marsha, Deputy Mayor Rahman Mohammed, Director Amina Bey for kicking off our summer youth program, which is probably the best summer youth program in the state of New Jersey, to employ 3,000 young people in our city and give them money to be paid above the minimum wage is a wonderful thing. And so I want to give kudos to them because that's amazing and awesome for our city. People were talking about it from all over, literally all over, from even different states regarding our kickoff of our summer youth program. So I want to send kudos to them. And I also want to thank the People's Assembly for an amazing meeting last night. Although it was held in the South Ward, I did travel over to attend the deaf and blind meeting, citizens meeting, to talk about some of their issues and how we can, move the city forward on their behalf as well. So thank you to those people.
Second.
Roll call. Yes.
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 Yes. Councilman.
Okay, I have a couple. I want to thank the Sanford Place Block Association for inviting me and my team there for their block party last week. It was well coordinated, and they do an excellent job up there. Also, I want to thank Frederica Bay. She moved back to Newark, and she put together a North 10th Street community meeting, and we had it at the new Donald and Payne School. So I want to thank Dr. Peterson, Superintendent of Essex County Schools, and Principal Love. The use of that school was negotiated in the agreement where we supported the school coming into the West Ward. So, you know, it's always a good thing when people keep their word. So I want to thank Joe D. and his team, and, you know, Phil Elijah and everyone who has something to do with us being able to use the school. They have a beautiful school, and we had the meeting inside the restaurant part. So eventually they'll have a restaurant that's open to the public. So that was a good meeting. And I want to give a shout out to all the kids that started working around City Hall and all of our offices, bringing new life into the building, and, you know, they're all excited, and we're excited to have them. It's the next generation, so, you know, it's a good thing. We're all excited to have the kids running around here and teaching them, especially those who want to be involved in public service. So that's all I have.
Okay, second. Roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Councilman James?
First and foremost, while she's here, I want to thank Donna Jackson for coming over to the South Ward. We had an issue with 515, their air conditioning went out, so together we're able to work together with the ownership to get some fans going, and needless to say, that situation will be taken care of. June 8th, we had Washerload Community Barbecue. We'd like to thank the owners of that laundromat for giving out food to the community, having a nice cookout. I'd like to thank the Alumni Association at Weequahic High School for having a Come Rep Your Class Hoops Challenge. I'd like to thank the Weequahic Career Closets grand opening, and that was at the Weequahic Branch Public Library on the 12th, and we had different varieties of clothes in different sizes for those who are seeking employment. This closet is going to be open to the public on Saturdays from 9:30 to 1:30 p.m. and on Wednesdays from 4 to 7 p.m. You're only allowed to pick up one full outfit with accessories per week. Again, that's the Weequahic Career Closet grand opening at Weequahic Branch Public Library. Also, I'd like to thank Altric White for his Leaders for Life program. They had a graduation at the Newark Museum on June 14th. And we'd like to thank those individuals for getting their GEDs and high school equivalency diplomas. Upcoming events on July 13th, Lorraine Edmonds will have a street dedication from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. That's on Seymour and Yates Avenue. We have a summer fun concert on July 15th from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Clinton Avenue Soundstage. We also have a soul music project every Wednesday from July 10th to August 14th from 5 to 10, also on the Soundstage. And on August 24th, we're going to have my 4th annual music festival. That's the 24th from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. House music at Bo Porter Sports Complex at the corner of Lyons and Leslie Street. And last but not least, every month I have my monthly meeting. This month will be July 20th from 9 to 11, 400 Hawthorne Avenue. But before that, my birthday will be July 19th. Thank you.
Birthday.
Second.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Councilman Amador.
First, a potential correction. We were given the list of streets to be paved in the city of Newark. We have about 4 sheets. And in one particular page, it shows Chestnut Street from Pacific Street to Makata Highway. And this is to start on July 1st. And then on September 16, 2019, we have Chestnut Street from Pacific Street to Broad Street. Which one is right?
Support.
Remind you, we
So maybe we're going to pave it twice.
Okay.
Councilman, if I, Mr. President,
Yes.
Councilman, the Director of Engineering asked today that he be allowed to do a presentation at the special meeting on the 23rd about street paving, so I think all of your questions can be answered then.
Okay, good. When is this, Tuesday?
Director of Engineering,
Next Tuesday?
the 23rd, the special on July 23rd.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
All right. Letter to Traffic and Signals. On Thomas Street and Polk Street, we have parking for residents only, and signs were installed for 24 hours. Amendments have been done for the last, I would say, about 2 months ago, to change it to 4 hours for visitors, and the signs are not up yet, and people are getting tickets. They're being fined. And we already sent letters to Traffic and Signals with this problem. It's not been corrected yet. 2 big potholes on Lang Street. The Water Department has been informed a few times, and it hasn't been corrected, and the potholes have been there for quite some time. That's all.
Second, roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes, Councilman Osborne, or?
I'll do it. I just want to take this time to have a moment of silence for someone that who passed here in City Hall, who was very dear to many of us here in this establishment for many years. She was very dear to a lot of people, helped a lot of people here in the city, and we are very saddened by the loss, for losing her. And we send our prayers to her family, to her friends, and that was Miss Jacqueline Criolla, who was the office supervisor and commissioner for the Division of Code Enforcement. I do want to announce we have received recently this morning the arrangements for her services, and so we want to make that public because she meant a lot to many people, especially in her home ward, which is the South Ward, but throughout the city of Newark. So her visitation is going to be on Friday, July 12th, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Cotton Funeral Home. That's located at 1025 Bergen Street. And then her funeral is going to be Saturday, July 13th, 9 a.m. at Good Neighbor Baptist Church. That's located at 100 Chancellor Avenue. So once again, on behalf of the council, we just send our prayers to her family, to her friends, to everybody in City Hall who has been affected by this. Thank you.
Second.
Roll call. Yeah.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yeah, Councilman.
Also, Vice President, just one note to announce that the Pennington Court Annual Family Day will not be done this year. We'll have a dinner Sunday for the residents, and they're all invited at Mediterranean Manor. And the folks who have been involved in the 25 years of organizing this event will be recognized also. So we won't have the event this year, but we will do a dinner.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Clerk, just one motion. Route 21, and also Broad Street. There's these roses that are supposed to be roses, but there's these bushes that are not roses, and it's an eyesore. And I don't know if they know the difference between a rose and a bush, but it's horrible. We put these things on these aisles, and we don't take care of them. Then Route 21 is the same. You go and you see the weeds, how high they're growing. I mean, there's even a building there up next to the river, the Passaic River. It says it's City of Newark, and you can't even see the name because the weeds are just, it's like coconut trees growing on 21. Again, that needs to be addressed. The other matter that has to be addressed, and talking to Congressman Albio Sirius, he says sometimes when we make these motions, they're listening to these motions that we make to our congressional delegation. And again, when we make the motion to invite Congressman Sirius to Chapel Street, he came to visit. You know, he did. He walked it. Some of the folks who are here, Donna was there, and some other individuals, Councilman Amador. And one of the concerns that I spoke to him was about the bridge. The bridges coming into the city of Newark, like the one that Amtrak travels every day through. That thing is so rusty. And that shows an image of the city of Newark. And you're coming on a plane, you see that bridge, it's all faded. And again, we're making a motion to New Jersey Transit, also to the Amtrak, making sure who's going to take responsibility of getting also these underpaths that go into the Ironbound, come from the Ironbound in. They're horrible. The lights systems are horrible. The paint, there should be some paint on them, something that makes the city of Newark. I mean, you can continue to talk about and brag about the arena, you can brag about the PAC, you can brag about whatever, but the eyesore is an eyesore when you come to the city. So if we can make these motions, I would appreciate it.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes, Councilor Amador?
Yeah, just one more thing. You touched on Terrell Holmes' issue on Chapel Street. Very, very soon, there'll be an announcement made regarding Terrell Holmes, and we won't say anything until we meet with residents and so on. There's a plan in place. I think it's going to work this time. We had a meeting last Friday, with the administration, and I think we're moving in the right direction finally.
Thank you. All right, and thank you.
Also, the whole to adjourn?
Okay.
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay.